All right. AEW's Trios Championships and the Ring of Honor 6. I didn't know that Ring of Honor still had the 6-man tag team championships, but it's the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus Bullet Club Gold. I think this is on the pre-show. Who we got in this one?
Who gives a fuck? Like,
I agree. I agree. But they're merging the titles. They're merging the titles, is what it says.
Well, the Acclaimed are so not as hot as they were like 2 years ago. This whole Billy Gunn thing, like there was so many good people in this roster, and I have to watch. Granted, Billy Gunn's in amazing shape for 63. Cannot argue that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like watching Billy Gunn wrestle in 1999.
Yeah,
like,
he was never a good wrestler.
No, never. Great shape. But I mean, like, I don't know. This is beneath Jay White. It really, and I'm not even a huge Jay White fan. This whole thing is so awful. I hope the Bullet Club Gold win, and it's just like, whatever, man.
Yeah, King says Trios belts matter as much as Knockouts tag belts. Yeah. You know, at one point in time, it looked like they were ready to focus on it. Like they had the Elite. I thought they were really going to do something with this Trios division, but it's just a nothing. It's a nothing division. I think it's just going to be one of those things. Like they will create the trio that are ready for the tag titles, like in the moment when they need a match, essentially. Like, okay, well, these three guys aren't doing anything. Now you can challenge for the Trios title. Same concept applies in the TNA Knockouts division. They create the tag team whenever they're ready for a challenger.
Well, we have a trios match later in the show with interesting teams, but yet we got this shit going for the titles. It's so weird.
Yeah. Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, speaking of which, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. You know, I think they're going to want to put Copeland and Kingston and them over, but you know, if House of Black truly is going to stick around, you know, I think it should be them. But I don't know. And we all know that Malachi Black has an issue with his back. He cannot lay on the mat for more than 3 seconds at a time. So it just doesn't work. So you know, I'm gonna pick House of Black in this one for that reason alone.
I think that it moves the story further if House of Black continues. Yeah. I would like to see Big Brody get the pin over Eddie, quite frankly. I think that's the most interesting thing. And then one of them goes on to challenge Adam. And if it's Brody, maybe you see a new champ someday. If it's Malachi, who cares?
I think Malachi would lose to Adam Copeland.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Malachi, man, poor guy just can't get fired. They fired all those people 2 weeks ago, but Malachi was like, damn it, I'm not one of them.
Remember, and it was funny. We were talking about that on AEW probably releases. It turned out all those people like had good reasons to be released. Like,
yeah, it was all like reasonable stuff.
Yeah, we heard like, oh, how do you fire the boys? Oh, they don't go to work. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're a real fucking pain in the ass, and they don't want to drive 3 hours to Nashville to fly from Nashville to whatever Winnipeg or wherever they were going, Ottawa.
Right.
So
you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to work? Okay, that's fine. You can go still do something else. I get it.
Yeah, and they exposed all those messages with their HR person. It was like, you guys still look like you're stupid. Like, of course they're going to save $800 a person on you guys. You guys are nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
FCW Championship, Hook versus Chris Jericho. Ugh. Chris Jericho has not looked good in months, man. And their last match was pretty brutal.
Time is undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho has done an amazing job fighting Time, and Time might be winning, and Hook should win this because, like, I don't know, man. It's not like Jericho is useless anymore, but I mean, at the same time, like, I can't think of a time I've been, and I'm nicer about Chris Jericho than most people, but I mean, like, I just don't feel it anymore. But,
I think we were pretty big supporters of him, and I think in that whole Houseman thing, I think we sided with him for the most part because there just wasn't any information out. Yeah. And so he's, you know, I've loved him for a long time. But this year he has not. He's also gotten himself out of shape again. And you know what I mean? I don't like, you know, I'm not trying to fat shame a brother, but you can tell the difference when he's committed and motivated and when he's not. And that kind of looks like he's not committed nor motivated. And he looks like he's kind of a liability in the ring at this point. And there were moments in the last match with Hook, and then hit the matches he's had with the CMLL guys have not been good either. Right. And so there's a consistency issue here. And I think it might be just, we might be either getting Time or he needs to go away for a little bit. It looks like he's about to do another heel turn, but he might need to go away for a little bit, get himself right. You know what I mean? And
I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that. And the problem is AEW is missing so many headliners right now. They really are. We're missing Kenny. We're missing, like, you know, a bunch of guys who could make a difference. And I know they think they need Chris Jericho, but in reality, you got plenty of people on that roster where you don't need Chris Jericho right now. And the one thing he was really good in WWE that he hasn't done a lot here is he would go away and come back and it would be something. I really think if Chris Jericho took 6 months and just got back into shape, both physically and mentally a little bit, I think he'd come back and have one last great run. But I think that he's super stale right now. I think it's time for Chris to just. I don't want him to retire like Antonio Baker's losing time to retire. No, I mean he's still better. He's still better than the vast majority of the roster. But I mean, I think it's time for him to just take a break. Take a break.
AEW International Championship, Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly, NXT Championship match.
Yeah, kind of. I'll be honest with you. You say that, but that's going to be a sneaky good match.
I mean, these guys are very good. Like, I'll be honest. I've never been a Kyle O'Reilly fan.
Really?
I just like he's good. He kicks out of stuff, and he lets people kick out of his stuff, and they're timed very well. So the kickouts are very well timed. He has some cool moves. I just don't find him to be interesting. And when he was doing Cool Kyle in NXT, I'm like, brother, I hate you. And then every time he's tried to be a singles wrestler, I've lost complete interest in him. And I have no interest in him here in AEW. If Bobby Fish comes back and Red Dragon is back, then count me in. But Kyle O'Reilly on his own, he bores me to tears. I'm just not interested in him. But like I said, look, they're gonna kick out of some stuff, and that's gonna be cool. And Excalibur is gonna go, oh, we almost had it. Thank you, Excalibur, you asshole.
Mike just repeated my Mustafa Ali rant in terms of Kyle O'Reilly. That's the exact thing I said about that guy. So yeah, to each their own. We'll see some submission holds and some backbreakers. I don't know if you're a work rate mark like I am. This is the match for you, and I'm okay if that's what the international title is. If it's just going to be the work rate title, I got no qualms with that.
Yeah. Yep, but I think Roddy wins because he just got the belt. So unless you're gonna do a hot potato situation, but I don't see any value putting the title over on O'Reilly and that group that's dead in the water. What is even the name of that group that they're in?
The Undisputed Kingdom.
The Undisputed Kingdom. That's right. They could use a belt.
They have several.
Yeah. Well, they have the Ring of Honor tag titles. I don't know if
they have belts. I didn't say they were valuable belts. I just said they were belts.
TBS Championship, speaking of not valuable, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. I mean, it's time to crown Willow, isn't it? I mean, she's got the match coming up with Mercedes.
Julia's hurt, right? She's done a great job. Like, boy, of all their young talent, she got over. Like, she is the only person I've ever seen do the Jimmy Jacobs spooky shit effectively and get over with it, right? To the point where I don't get violently angry when she's on the television. I don't pull a Taylor Wilde and start cursing at the dark. She's actually pretty good at doing the Stevie Nicks thing, and she got a lot better, right? Like, she improved. She was the only person. I'll still say she's the only person in the Varsity Blondes worth of shit. Like, but
that's right. She was in the Varsity Blondes. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah,
she escaped that. She good for her.
Yeah, moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, because Pillman went to NXT. What happened to the other kid? Like, is he even around?
Ring of Honor. He's in Ring of Honor.
Nobody actually watches Ring of Honor. That's not a real thing. Like,
I don't watch Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
it is a real show because I've seen the tapings. I go potty during the tapings when I'm there. You tell I have a little kid that I take to the shows with me. I just said potty. What was it about? Oh yeah, Julia. No, it's time for her to lose it. Willow's super over. Willow might be legit. Willow's one of the most over baby faces on the whole goddamn roster.
Yeah. No, she's really good. And they're setting her up for Mercedes, right? So, and I hope Mercedes turns heel because she sucks as a baby face. She really does. Yes. She's not good. They got a lemon with that one. All right, AEW Continental. God, they got a lot of titles. AEW Continental Championship. Kazuchika Okada versus Pac. Could be fighting for match of the night, man. Obviously, Okada's going to win this thing. If not, then Tony needs to sell the company. But Okada over Pac. But this should be great, right?
Yeah, great. This title isn't really a title. This is just accents for Okada for the next year.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. Okada's going to beat everybody. They're going to do the Continental Classic. Okada's going to get a bye to the finals, and he's going to beat the shit out of whoever wins that thing. This is just Okada. This just is something for Okada to do until they're in the until he's ready to beat the champ.
Yeah, hold on. King of the North. TNA Review guy says nobody watches Ring of Honor. More people watch TNA than watch Ring of Honor.
He's right.
I guarantee it. Yeah, TNA doesn't get a lot of viewership. It gets a lot more than Ring of Honor does. Because I can't name 12 people that have that app.
Ring of Honor does not have 100,000 subscribers. Tony would be.
Now, can Ring of Honor sell more tickets? Well, yeah, when you load it up with AEW guys and it's being promoted on AEW television for WrestleMania weekend, of course they can. But Ring of Honor on its own, give me a break.
Right. I have no argument to that, sir. I can see that.
I'm talking about modern Ring of Honor, but for a long time, way more people watched Ring of Honor because it was on Sinclair, and a lot of people it would come on at like 1 a.m, and like you just leave your TV on after Walker Texas Ranger reruns, and then there's Ring of Honor coming on.
That's how they get ready. That's a true story.
Yeah. AEW Tag Team Championship. Young Bucks, this is the ladder match. We'll be taking on FTR. I think this is the spot where we see Jack Perry come back, which means Young Bucks got to take this one, right?
Yeah, I am perfectly fine with these two going back and forth for the rest of their careers. I know it's going to make Jim Cornette angry because FTR might have to lose once in a while, but it's better right now for the story if the Bucks win. And dude, these two teams have great chemistry. The Bucks are really good in ladder matches, and they're great at falling off of shit. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And again, like I said, Okada and Pac might steal the show. This one. We keep forgetting just how good these teams are because, I think the Young Bucks are doing really great heel work, but last week was a bit of a disaster. And then they have to go in and remind us just how great they are and remind us like who is the team that carried Sting and Darby. It was the Young Bucks, right? Like they were the magicians behind that whole thing. And they're very much like FTR is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So are the Young Bucks. I think they're just going to kill it. This can be great.
After last week's disaster, don't you think these 4 guys are going to be motivated to change the narrative?
Yes. And to get people to forget about how much of a disaster that was.
That's what I'm saying. Change the narrative.
Yeah. So, they're going to be coming out hot. I think the Young Bucks take it, though.
Yeah, I agree.
AEW Women's Championship, Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. This one might be rough. Thunder Rosa has not looked good since she's returned, and you never know what Toni Storm you're going to get. Are you going to get over the top Hiromu with Daryl Toni Storm, or are you going to get like Toni Storm from Stardom who can go in there and kick some ass? You know what I mean?
What a great comparison. She is totally like Hiromu in this company. I can totally see that. Like I have never been less interested in an AEW women's title match, and I like Toni Storm, but it's too much shtick. And like if she could just wrestle like Toni, if she could do the shtick and then just wrestle like Toni Storm, like we saw a couple weeks ago, it'd be fine. But she doesn't. She's got to do the spiel all the time, and I'm just kind of over it, man. And I don't think Thunder's not good anymore. Like
no.
She's not. I get why they're doing this. Makes perfect sense, right? Like they never had the match. Like I get why they're doing it, but it's not gonna be good.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough one. Oh, King of the North has a good question. Referring back to the tag title match, do the Guns show up after this match? You know what? I think because the Jack Perry thing is probably gonna be where they go. I could see the Guns being no matter who wins. I could see the Guns being lined up as the next challengers. Absolutely. I mean, the rumors are that they're about to sign or have already signed. They had their final match on TNA tonight. So
I would expect the Guns to show up on the show. I don't think, because you're right. They're going to make this about Jack Perry. Yeah. So I think the Guns show up, but they don't interfere or anything like that. Like I think you might do the Tony Schiavone. Please welcome our newest signees. And then you hear Motor City. I have to hear that in AEW ring. I just have to. I love that theme song so much.
Yeah, no, but that's a good shot. They were one of my stories I wanted to get to today. And I just obviously didn't do a format. So, hold on. IO says they're booked April 20. That is right. That is how they're booked on April 21st in Toronto. But if they sign with AEW, Tony Khan can get them to cancel that booking, and that happens a lot. But that's how we discovered us TNA fans. We discovered that. Like, hey, maybe something's going on with the Guns because they were announced for like Destiny Wrestling or Smash Wrestling or something like that in Canada on the 21st, and TNA has TV taping that night. And so we're like, what the hell's going on? And then people started digging. It's like, oh, they're leaving. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how this whole thing broke. But I could see them pulling out of that. If Tony Khan needed them, I could see them doing that.
Tony also owns a plane. Tony owns a private jet. They can work their match and get in a jet and fly to St. Louis.
Yeah. Man, fucking so many good matches on this card, dude. It's one of the great cards. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. God damn it.
Damn.
Oh.
Like,
I love this match. I don't even care who wins. I mean, Will Ospreay is going to win, but God, it's going to rule.
Do you know who wins, Mike? We win. We, the fans, we win in this case. Like, I hate that sounds so corny, but it's true. This match is going to be awesome. This is one of those things that if you told me in 2018 that eventually I get to watch Bryan Danielson wrestle Will Ospreay, I'd be like, oh, WWE signed Will Ospreay. That's terrible. Like it's the only way I can see that's ever happening. And it's not, that hasn't. Like, we're going to get them just being unbridled and awesome. And I hope Tony Khan has one more final countdown left in that deal, because it would make me happy to hear that coming out with Danielson and Ospreay. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Hold on. The chat wants me to answer a question.
Oh,
James L says, Mike, what if Deonna turn on Rosa and joins with Tony and the other girl? I think Deonna is poorly cast in AEW. She should be a heel. I think her becoming a heel makes all the sense in the world. And if Tony Storm's going to have a faction, her former best friend, they already have that story. It kind of makes a little bit of sense, although they did just wrestle. And I know that Deonna wrestled Mariah May. So, but that actually kind of makes a little bit of sense to me. Yeah. So
I could see it. I'd be cool with it. Yeah, Deonna's not a good babyface, but I get why they did it at first, because they wanted that match, right? The two had pretty good chemistry. It makes sense. AEW typically puts their new signees in babyface roles because people want to cheer them, right? Hey, this is the new person. We want to cheer them. So it made sense. But and if you watch the show, the heel turn coming.
Yeah. And then in the main event, we got Swerve versus Samoa Joe. I've been saying for a long time, Swerve needs to be the champion. I think it's time to crown the dude. Like, the guy's doing the best work of his life.
I agree. It's time. It's time. And then here's what should happen. Swerve wins that title, holds it up, and then Hangman comes with that chain and beats his ass and leaves him in a bloody heap to end the show.
And then we get the finale of the Hangman and Swerve, the Hangman and Swerve feud. Yeah, the rivalry. Yeah. So, yeah. But so I'm very much looking forward to the card. If you're going up against Dynasty, like, I think like this is like the sleeper card of the year, really. I don't know if it's going to outperform Revolution, but man, it could be a hell of a freaking deal.
AEW pay-per-views typically do not let you down, and this is the one where I'm like, you know what? I am super, super excited. I'm going to the go-home show at Collision, and we're getting, dude. If Monday was not a school night, I would take the 4-hour drive to St. Louis and go watch this show, but I can't.
St. Louis is a rough drive, man. But
that's an easy drive from Chicago, from where I live. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
I can't get home in time to be functional for work the next day.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, guys. JD's going to be here, but he is not paying attention to TNA right now. So this is going to be Mike's preview of Rebellion and JD learning what the card is in real time.
No, yeah. I don't know the card, so I'm going to make fun of what I don't like. Go for it.
Yeah, hold on. Ayo says, enjoy the Danielson full-time run while he's still there. Brian putting on bangers every month. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And then Cole of the Ledger, Ospreay, Danielson, whoever wins, so do we.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. And Izzy says, she, meaning Deonna, would be a great heel. Yeah, and then Io says, a triple threat for Double or Nothing would be my guess. I don't think they go triple threat again. They just did that. Yeah.
We just did that.
Yeah. And then Swerve says, or King of the North says, Swerve versus Hangman, hell of a war. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the great feuds, like blood feuds in AEW. And then off the top rope, it says a bunch of 100 like emojis.
Thanks.
100, 100, 100, hand waving, pirate, running man, farting. Thank you.
That's how I read that too. That's like my emoji, because I fart all. Yeah. If I tweeted, if you read my tweet last night, I farted so bad my dog left the room.
That's when you know it's bad, when your dog gets pissed at you.
Yeah.
Oh, and Io says for the women. Oh, okay. Okay. He meant for the triple threat match, not Swerve and Joe. Yeah, he meant for the women. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.